Your Excellencies, fellow members of CALD, dear friends of the Liberal International, ladies and gentlemen. When the Singapore Democratic Party was first invited to join the Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats in the early 1990s, we jumped at the opportunity. Never before had Asian political parties come together to advance the cause of democracy and freedom. At that time, Asia was still largely run by autocrats. Indonesia was still toiling under Suharto. The DPP in Taiwan was still a fledgling party. South Korea's democratic future was far from assured, and Timor-Leste was not in existence. It is to the eternal credit of the courageous few who found the wherewithal to deny themselves and take up the cause of freedom that human rights was won. Freedom is never free, so they say, and many of those who have stood up to tyrants have paid for their liberties with limb and life. Many of us who are still journeying towards democracy look to them for inspiration. I know I do. We need to draw lessons from the successes. Our coming together as Asian liberals and Democrats have facilitated this process immeasurably. In this regard, CALD stands tall and proud. But there is another aspect to CALD's existence, which is that our colleagues who now live in the free world give those who still have mountains to climb a helping hand by speaking up for us against oppression. Our brothers and sisters in Burma are still locked in the grip of a murderous military regime. We must apply our minds and our resources to helping the Burmese and their leader Daw Aung San Suu Kyi gain the freedom they so desperately seek. The little that we can do in Singapore we have done and will continue to do. When Gandhi, Seong Chin, John and I held a protest against Singapore's selling of arms and trade deals with the junta, we were arrested and may face criminal charges for illegal assembly. But we are proud to stand together with the brave defenders of democracy of Burma, and we will continue to do so. To this end, we know we are extremely fortunate to have our sister organization, the Liberal International, with us. Because of what it stands for and what it has been able to achieve, the LI brings authority and stature to matters of liberty and justice. Under the leadership of Lord Elderdice, the LI can only grow, and the beacon for human rights can only shine brighter throughout the world. Thank you for your leadership and your vision. This is why we, the Singapore Democrats, are so proud to be the next chair of CALD. It is with honor that the SDP accepts this role. The anticipation is, however, tinged with a sense of foreboding and uncertainty. For as you may know, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew and his son, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, have sued us for defamation over a scandal regarding a charitable organization and a couple of cabinet ministers. The judiciary awarded the case to the Lees without so much as giving us a trial to defend ourselves. The only matter outstanding before the courts now is the amount of costs and damages we have to pay to the Lees. We are looking at around $1 million. We will be unable to pay the amount, and as a result the Lees have the option to wind us up and deregister us as a political party. The action is in its final stages, and by early next year the case will reach its inexorable conclusion. I have personally already been made a bankrupt in a previous lawsuit also by Lee Kuan Yew. As a result of my being unable to pay him the damages, the Singapore government has banned me from traveling out of Singapore, and hence my ability to join you for this conference. I am also facing numerous charges for speaking in public, and am currently in the midst of a trial that will see me convicted yet again. I have already been to prison 6 times, and it looks like I will be facing more prison time in the coming years. Some of my colleagues in the party are also facing several police investigations for which they could yet be prosecuted in court. But we are not deterred. We will continue to fight for democracy and freedom in Singapore, for change can only come about through Singaporeans. But we are also acutely aware that your support and assistance is vital. The dictates of history teach us that without support and pressure from the international community, autocrats will not yield. Singapore, more than any other country, is susceptible to international opinion. if only because it is fearful of loss of trade and investment. The PAP government would have been infinitely harsher with us if it hadn't been for statements and interventions made by our friends around the world. As bleak as the immediate circumstances are, however, we look forward to the years ahead, for our future as Asian liberals and democrats is pregnant with hope and progress. It is to this ultimate objective, the objective of seeing people all over the world live in dignity and self-worth, in freedom and equality, that we continue to strive and endure. In 1997, when I met Aung San Suu Kyi in Rangoon, she said at the end of our meeting that when this was all over, she would like to get together with everyone and have a party and not talk about politics for a while. I would like that very much, to be able to get together with all of you again soon. Won't it be a blast if Aung San Suu Kyi could join us by that time? Until then, we must continue our work, and I pledge that the Singapore Democrats will do our part in CALD. And with the LI also in our corner, we sleep a lot better at night. I leave you now with a little video that we prepared. It's called The Flame of Democracy. We hope you'll join us in passing it on. Thank you, God bless, and I hope to see you again soon.
This flame symbolizes the hope for a brighter and more democratic future for all of us here in Singapore. It carries whatever I believe in: justice, openness, and democracy. With this hope, I pass it on.
Thank you, Lawrence. I love my country and demand democratic rights for all Singaporeans. This candle carries my hopes and aspirations. I pass it on.
Thank you. This flame will continue to burn because people like us, ordinary citizens of Singapore, are stepping forward to call out loudly for our political rights and for democracy. Tiny now, this flame will increase in its brightness for years to come. I pass it on.
I am a citizen of Singapore, and as a citizen, I have rights, and I will exercise those rights to build a democratic society. I ask you to join me in standing up for our fellow citizens and our nation. We can do that with this flame, the flame of democracy, the flame of hope. I pass it on.
Thanks. I'm a Singapore Democrat and proud to be one. This flame burns brightly in my heart and in my mind. I will always pass it on.
The flame